Hello, yes, good morning everyone. So today's 29th of January 2019, and I'll start off with what I keep mentioning every day here. We have a bonus here that's still running. Just a second, I have the screen set. We have a bonus here on this page. You can see this is just the main site. You need to go to this site and load it. It will be something like this. Then you go to bonus. We have the first option, about us, trading condition. Then you have bonus, and the very first option, which is on top, this one, click it and then ensure you read everything on this page. So with this bonus, you have to deposit at least 500 USD to qualify for it. That's the only condition which has to be met. Then there's the next important one, which means this one: open an account and verify. This is the procedure. And then enable bonus for trading account. The account which you deposit, the where this that deposit, it has to be either a classic account or classic MT5 or market pro account, and not any ECN account. So there are also other terms and conditions here. Ensure you read all this. So the bonus runs from it was actually from last year, 24th of December 2018, up to next month, end of next month, which is 28th of February. So we'll move on with what you're supposed to look at today. We'll look at what you're supposed to check for today. We'll start off with the Euro USD, the very first one. So I hope you can remember Euro USD. We had our lines like this. So far the price is going against whatever we said. We actually were looking for a sell from this point. We still have our mark at that point. We said this was supposed to be a very good sell. So far the price has been going even higher. So on this chart, actually, if you look at it from the weekly, we are still selling, but the daily chart is actually giving us some buy places. So the best you should do is just to remain flat temporarily. Let's check weekly to see exactly what I'm saying. Weekly, I'm going to remove that ask line. We don't need it on this chart there. So according to the weekly chart, we have a level here. This is just a key resistance. We have a resistance, price went down, a resistance, price went down, a resistance, then it went down, a resistance, it went down, then we saw that break, a support, which this attempt to break below, but then it could not remain below. Then for the second time now we've gone below the same place. So assuming you attended the webinar we did on consolidation, we mentioned something that if you have a key level like the one we have now, this is a very key level. Assuming you have a level like this, then you notice that price begins to consolidate above it, and then the same place price was consolidating above is broken, then price begins to do the same thing on the other side. This means we are still selling, and therefore the pin bar we are seeing, we saw last week, this pin bar and also this move upwards may likely not close beyond 1.1470. So assuming you see this place here, a resistance, price went down, a resistance, you should be able to look for a sell from this point, and with that sell you should have a take profit somewhere here. This is the next key place I'm seeing on this chart, just a support, price went up, a support, it went up, then we saw the same place, and on the other side we also have this level here, like that. So this a support, price went down, a support, it went down, sorry, this was a resistance, it went down, a resistance, these two, a resistance. We also have this one, a resistance, and then we have the last one there, which is also a very good resistance here. So what these three means is that as long as the price does not go above this line, this should be a very good place to sell from. we are basically looking for a sell from around this point here, because we have the horizontal line and also the diagonal one showing us a sell. So we expect a bounce from that point to the lower side. Assuming you're on this side at the moment, then just look for a sell from around that point, a clear sell signal with their take profit at 1.0468. So we'll move to the next pair, which is GBPUSD. It's here already, and this line is a bit messed up, so I want to delete certain lines here because we are not necessarily going to use all of them. So on this chart, we have a level here, a resistance. There's a very good trend line here which was broken. So resistance, price went down, a resistance, price went down, a resistance, then we've gone above that resistance. So we took a buy from this point up to this place here, if you can remember, and we mentioned that as long as the price remains above the place where we took profits from, we still expect a move even higher. So something like this is likely. The price should proceed higher, retrace back to the same place, then proceed even higher towards 1.3821, somewhere around here. And should price break above it, then we expect it to move even higher towards 1.4326. So there's a level here which is a good one. I actually detailed that line unknowingly. This was just a resistance, price went down, and we expect price to break above it in the future, then retrace back so that you can pick a buy from there. So on this pair for some time now, like maybe up to the end of next month, you actually still expect a buy, and a buy, ultimately towards this resistance here. So if you look at a chart widely, then you'll find that this is a monthly resistance. Just a second. The level where I'm having my the last line at the very top here, this is a monthly level here. This is a very good monthly level, and therefore we expect it to be a very good place to sell from. So just to explain whatever I'm saying, look at it like this. We have GBPUSD here, monthly. It is this level here, this level here. So you can see those are support. Price went up, a support, then it went up, then we saw that break, then a retracement. So should price get back to this place here, maybe in the future, then this should be the correct place to sell from. As it is at the moment, if this week's month's candle can close the way it is, then this should be a very good sell place. No, sorry, a buy place. Something like this is likely, maybe a retracement back to this place here. If it crosses like this, a retracement so that you can buy it even high towards 1.4195. So I hope this should make some sense, that we are actually looking for a buy. We want price to retrace, then we buy it up towards 1.4195. So this is why I was saying that this very top here is a good resistance. It's a monthly level, and therefore it's the correct place to sell from. So I've tried also to explain that with the monthly chart which we saw here. Sorry, this is the monthly chart. We had this one here, we had a resistance there, support. We also had a support at that point, and then we also had a very good resistance support at that point. So in case price gets back to this place here, then the best you should do is to look for a sell. Sell it from within this place and have your take profit here. Then we also have a very key level here on the monthly, which has to be checked. Just a support there, and then you also have a resistance there, and then the same place previously was used as a key level. So on this chart, if you're on the monthly, then these are the places you're supposed to look for: this line, or this line, or the one on the lower end. Only these three you're supposed to trade from, 1, 2, and the third one. So we move to the next chart, which is USDJPY here. And also on this one, you're not going to add much. You still have just the same information you had yesterday. Nothing has changed much except that we moved lower. So this is a support. Price went up, got resistance, resisted, it went down, a resistance, it went support, a resistance, a support, then we saw this break. So this is a false break. This was a false break to the lower side. What it means is that we are supposed to have taken a buy from this point, and also we're supposed to have taken a buy from that point. What we want to happen now is for price to retrace back to this level so that we can either buy it upwards, or we wait for a break below and then a retracement so that we take a sell from the same place we ought to have bought from. So I'm not going to add anything on this chart because it's a bit clearer that unless the price is here, we're not doing anything. And we'll check daily just in case there's anything good on the daily. So on the daily chart, we have a level at this point here. We have here, this is just a support, there a good support. We also have a good support, and then you also have the same place being broken, then a resistance, and then a resistance. So what we want to happen now, if you didn't take a sell from this point here while price was somewhere above or along this line, you should wait for price to get back to the same place so that you can sell it according to the daily. And that sell, you ought to have your take profit here, and the next one should be on the lower side there. So either way, we are still flat on this pair. According to the daily chart, you're supposed not to do anything. We are waiting for price to get back, bounce from this point so that we sell it to the lower side towards 108.69 and may extend lower towards 104.66. So we'll move to the next symbol, which is SP500 there. And SP500, I hope you can still remember, we actually are looking for a buy. After the break above this level, we want price to retrace back to the same place so that we can buy. So yesterday we mentioned that we had an inside bar. This one here, this is an inside bar, and it's also a pin bar. So being that it's an inside bar and a pin bar and you're above a key level means that the price could head upwards towards this level here, 2797.4, and may break even higher towards 2934.8. So this is what I expect, a retracement here, a retracement back to this level so that we can buy it from that point up, then a retracement, we buy it for the second time. So on this chart here, whatever you're seeing as a change in trend, this one, this is just a false break to the lower side. So we are not going to sell it even if the price gets back again to the lower side, because so far, as you can see, look at this chart widely. From 209 we've been upwards. Price went up, then there's a correction, it went up, a correction, it went up, then we saw that correction, it went up, a correction, then it went up, and then we saw this correction here. So possibly this is still in an uptrend. We still want price to proceed even higher. So the best to do is wait for a clear retracement back to this place here, pick a buy from this point up, then retrace, then we pick the second buy up towards 2934.8. So on the other side, assuming price goes below this level, maybe something like this, assuming price goes below this level, this looks like a sell, but for me, I'm not going to sell it. That the best place to sell from actually is when price goes below this level, 2400.6. So should price go below this level, then we want it to break clearly below so that I'll be able to pick a sell from that point to the last side. So only when price goes below this level here, that's when the trend has changed, and that's when I'm going to look for a sell. So I'll sell it at that point. That's the correct place to sell from. I'm not going to sell here because I'll need a confirmation that we are going down. I'm not going to sell, so but I'm going to buy in case the price fails to close below this level here, this zone, the one I'm having at this point here. So we move to the next chart, which is Brent oil here, and Brent oil just has gone perfectly as you said. So I just look at it like this. We have a resistance, price went down, a resistance, then we have a support. It went up, a support, and we mentioned yesterday clearly that there's a clear level here which has to be broken. Instead of buying, you can remember yesterday we had a line at this point, we had a vertical line like this that points up, a line rising upwards. So we mentioned that the reason we're not going to buy it is simply because there was a sell on the daily chart. So price has gone, as you said, it has broken below. We've seen that retracement and it's closing as a pin bar. So the best thing you should do is to have your pending sell limit around this point here. Have your pending sell limit here, and we'll add an indicator on that so that we're able to see why I'm insisting this as sell. We want an indicator that supports the sell position like that. And I'll also have a line here. So I'll add this indicator. This is called average directional movement index, loaded. So you can see from this indicator here we have this main line, which is it's complete line, it's not dotted. Then you have the green line which is dotted, and then you have the red one which is also dotted. So anytime you have the red one, red stands for a downtrend, and you have the green one standing for an uptrend, then the main one shows that there's an active trend but does not indicate which trend is active. So if you find that we have the dotted one, red dotted one being above the green dotted one, and then the complete line, which is this, is above this level 25, then it means that we have an active trend and that trend is downwards. So in this case here, the same is true. We have this one, the complete one above 25, and then you have the dotted one above the green one. So that means you're supposed to look for a sell, and in case you sell it, just expect a move like this so that you can sell it for the second time like this, then a retracement, and we'll take a sell from that point like that. So that should be a sell, and that should be a sell there, added to this sell, the one we have here. So this is our projected move in the longest run possible. We actually expect price to proceed lower based on this indicator we are selling, and we're also going to add the second indicator maybe just to confirm. MACD is also below 00. So all these are giving us a sell. This is a sell, and the one that we just deleted from the chart is also a sell. So all of them indicate the same thing. Look for a sell, especially if price can retrace back to this level. You sell it, let it run, retrace, you pick the second sell like that until you are done at around 50.64. So we'll move to the last symbol, which is gold here, and as you can see, I'm going to delete this. So before I delete it, I'll use it first at least to understand the direction. So on this chart here, we have the complete line here, which is above 25 level 25. Then we have the green one being above the red one. So what this piece of information means is that we have an active trend, and that trend is upwards based on this green dotted line. So as we mentioned yesterday, we want something like this to happen. We want price to clearly ascend above 1310.30, then retrace back to the same level so that we can pick a buy from this point here and head even upwards towards 1357.28, which is around here. So this should make a little sense. We'll minimize this chart so that we can be able to see widely. For our chart, we still have this, just the same information. This is a very good place, and should price successfully manages to close above it, then this is the place to buy from. Like whether you're looking at it from the 4-hour chart or from the daily chart, this is still the correct place to trade from. Just expect price to close above 1310.30, then retrace back to the same point so that you pick a buy from that point towards 1357.23. So I hope that should make some little sense, that we are actually looking for a buy on this. I'm not going to sell. I don't recommend any sell on this one unless something like this happens, assuming price breaks above then it breaks again below everything like that. Just a second, I'll have to get rid of these lines because they're going to hinder what I'm trying to say now. Assuming something like this happens, that the price successfully goes above, but then it fails to sustain this break above, then we may want to wait for this retracement so that we can buy it sell it from that point. This is the only situation I'm going to look for a sell. Like there should be an attempt to break, then we fail to sustain that break above here, then we go back. If price can come back to the same point, then that's the place to sell from. That's the only situation I'm going to sell. Otherwise, I'm not going to do anything at the moment. So I think that brings us to the end of today's overview. We've actually looked at just everything we need to look at. We have all the pairs. We've looked at Euro USD, we have GBP USD, we've looked at USD JPY, Brent, SP500, and then we've also looked at gold, which we finalized at. So the last thing, just a repeat of whatever I've just mentioned. We have this bonus here, the one you're seeing on the screen. So I keep repeating it because somebody asked me about it, so I believe it's something you need to know. That assuming you have a deposit of 500 USD, you just deposit this money, 500, then you may want to apply for this bonus here. It's like 200%, whichever amount you deposit, as long as it's somewhere above 500 or from 500. So there are conditions here which are good, you need to adhere to before you apply for it. You need to have an account, simplest procedure, and then enable bonus for trading account, this one and then this one, or Market Pro MT4. Then fund your account and then you'll get the bonus. This is the correct procedure. You have to have an account. This means you need to be a new client. And another thing, read these terms, and you just click this button here. Ensure you read all this. Read everything. The most important thing here is that this bonus expires end of next month, which is 28th of February, and then you need these accounts. You need to have either Classic MT4 account, Classic MT5, or Market Pro MT4 accounts. So read everything. Those are just some of the things I've mentioned, but you should ensure that you read everything and understand them before you eventually click this one here. So thank you very much. That should bring us to the end of today's analysis. See you again tomorrow.